It's January, so it can only mean one thing. The transfer news show is back right here on West Ham on Official, keeping you up to date with all the latest ingoings, outgoings, rumours, news, all to do with West Ham. So buckle yourselves in. This is our first West Ham transfer news show of the January transfer window. Things are starting to hot up, and I'm going to keep you up to date right here. So yeah, let's get on with the video. Going to start with the re-emerging news of Wolves' interest in Craig Dawson. So coming from Dharmesh Chef of Sky Sports, a reliable source to do with West Ham news in recent times, has said West Ham are open to offers for Craig Dawson, but ideally would want a replacement. Wolves back in for Dawson after coming close to signing him in the summer. Dawson in to the final 6 months of his contract. So if you cast your mind all the way back to the summer, where it looked like he was going to be out the door and it looked like he was going to go to Wolves. Now, this transfer makes a lot more sense than it did back then for me. I think, you know, as much as I would like him to say, I think he's been an amazing servant for the club over the pretty short time we've been here, actually. What, 3 years? Yeah, 3 years. I suppose it's not as short as I thought. But overall, he's been a brilliant player for us. He's given us so many good moments. And I don't think any West Ham fan will forget that performance he put in at Lyon away in that game, in that historic game where we beat them 3-0. And that's amongst a shed load of amazing man of the match performances, being there at the right time for every block, for every tackle. He's just been immense in his time at West Ham. And I felt it was all ending a little bit too soon in the summer transfer window, because it looked like we were going to get Jan Bednarek and we were selling Craig Dawson. And of course, it was personal reasons why he wanted to go towards, because it's more closer to where he lives in the Midlands or Manchester, wherever it may be. So it made sense, but I just thought it was all ending a little bit abruptly, and I didn't quite want it to end. And thankfully, we didn't end up getting Jan Bednarek, and we kept Craig Dawson. And yes, I don't think he's hit the heights of performances that he has in the sort of first season and a half that he played at West Ham, but he's certainly still been good. He's been he's still solid. A couple of, you know, shaky moments have sort of come in this season to it, but that's to be expected. And I think, you know, all of the man of the match performances, the games that he's kept us in over the last 3 years, can't go without praise and credit. And he certainly won't go without praise and credit if he leaves the club in this window. And it wouldn't surprise me at all. To be fair, if he wants to go, I think we've just got to say, Craig Dawson, thank you very much for your service to the club, but we're going to let you go and move, you know, somewhere that's better for his family as he looks to wind down his career. And let's be honest, he's had an absolutely amazing time at West Ham. And maybe with things not so great, he might look to relocate back up north a little bit, which I wouldn't blame him at all. And for Wolves, they're going to get a flipping good centre half for a good couple of years. And I think it's sort of a win-win situation, but, and there's a big but, we've got a centre half sort of issue at the moment where they all seem to be getting injured. So I can understand the part that we want to find a replacement, because it would be daft to get rid of him without a replacement lined up. Sounds like something West Ham would do, but I think that would just be daft to be honest with you. I just couldn't see the logic behind it. So we've got to, that's a must, have somebody ready to go to bring in almost done before we sell Craig Dawson, because we've already got Kurt Zouma out for however long. Gerd has been dodgy. He's only just come back, but you don't know when he's going to go down with another injury. And we haven't got that many centre-halves there, and I don't want to be seeing Kehrer at centre-half. It's bad enough seeing him at right-back, no wonder centre-half. So we have got that sort of issue there where we sort of need him at the moment. As much as it may be the right time to let him go, we do at the same time need him now. And if we can just maybe try and get him to put a sort of, you know, a half a year or a year extension on his contract, just to keep him till the end of the season, because we sort of need him, as I said. And as much as it would be, you know, good for him to move on, I think we do need to try and keep hold of him. But it wouldn't surprise me at all if this deal goes through. Moving on to something that has re-emerged as well, which sort of surprised me in the last couple of days. Loads of sources have reported it. David Ornstein from The Athletic, Football London, loads of sources has reported that West Ham have made a fresh approach to sign Sevilla striker Youssef En-Nesyri. Do you remember that name? I certainly do. Unsuccessful bid to recruit the Moroccan international permanently in 2021. This time the offer is an initial loan. Sevilla struggles mean West Ham's optimism is low, but West Ham's optimism is low, but the interest is firm. So let's just talk about this now, because this was a player that we looked quite close to signing a couple of windows back, and it never ended up happening. We never signed a striker until, of course, Scamacca in the summer transfer window. And I think his name was still floated around a little bit in the summer in En-Nesyri. And there seems to be, as David Ornstein's reporting, a fresh approach for him, which has sort of shocked me a little bit. I can't lie. I was like, oh, well, that name, we haven't seen that for a short while. And it just seems like recycled names coming back again. Now, I can believe it, but whether it's true or not, because of the amount of sources that are reporting it, I find it highly surprising if it's false. But it just seems a bit strange that Moyes is going back to try and sign another striker. Maybe it could mean that Mikel Antonio could be departing the club, or they're sort of getting ready for his departure. That could be imminent. You never know. So maybe that's their sort of thinking. But he's not been in the best of form. Let's be honest. I think somebody put on he scored 1 in 20 goals or something. 1 goal in 20 games, but he did score a hat-trick last week, so that boosts it up a little bit, so he could be returning to his best form. The Moroccan is a hard-working and very strong in the air, apparently, so it's no surprise that Moyes wants to bring him to West Ham. He will offer strong competition to players like Gianluca Scamacca, and would be an improvement on Mikel Antonio. Has been getting a little bit of sort of criticism after the last few performances, so maybe that's the sort of route that we are going to go down there. I'm not sure if we sign him, I'll be surprised. If it just sort of diminishes out into nothing, that wouldn't surprise me at all. So it's just going to be one to keep an eye on. And especially with the initial offer being a loan, I can understand that in a way. If we can get him on a loan till the end of the season, and then Antonio leaves us in the summer, which wouldn't surprise me, and then we could bring him in on a permanent basis if the loan works to start with. So it's a sort of no risk sort of situation here. So we could have an option then to buy him at the end of that loan period at the end of the season. It's almost smart business if he's a striker that Moyes wants, and if he's a striker that's going to be effective and sort of fit into the way we need to play and the way we do play. So those are all the questions Moyes and his recruitment staff have got to ask and make a consequential decision in the coming weeks in that sense. So we were told it was going to be a slightly quiet transfer window, and we expected that after, of course, the big spending we did in the summer, which shocked many people. So I wouldn't expect many more rumours and proper transfers to go through. But a couple that have floated around is one about Terem Moffi. Can't say I've heard of him, from Lorient in the January transfer window. That's according to TalkSport journalist Alex Crook, who has suggested that Moffi joining Southampton is now looking less likely due to his £25 million price tag, leaving the Hammers in pole position. David Moyes desperately needs to strengthen his centre-forward ranks at London Stadium, apparently, according to Hammers News. Moffi is a man who would be ideally suited to West Ham and Premier League football in general. It seems as though the Nigerian international could be London Stadium bound. So Alex Crook has said West Ham have joined the race for Lorient striker Terem Moffi. I'm not going to lie, I've never heard of him. So if that sort of materialises into more solid sort of rumours and links, I'm sure we will revisit it. But that's just another one to keep an eye on. That's 3 stories there I've discussed. 1 outgoing, 2 perhaps potential incomings to West Ham. That's, of course, Craig Dawson going to Wolves, Youssef En-Nesyri coming to West Ham eventually, and maybe a Terem Moffi, another striker that we've been linked with. It looks like from the links that are currently coming through that we may be eyeing up another striker in this transfer window. So we're just going to have to wait and see. We are 10 days in now, so we've got 21 days left of this transfer window. So still a good sort of just less than 3 weeks left. So plenty of time yet. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see what happens and see if we make any sort of big signings. Will we? It would surprise me. But anyway, put your thoughts about what I've discussed in the comment section down below. Thank you very much for watching. Drop a like, subscribe to our channel sponsors, SRM Carver and Son, by clicking the link in the description down below. That's it from me. Thank you very much. Come on, you irons, and I'll catch you soon right here on West Ham Official. Thank you very much for watching, and bye bye.